Welcome to Plan 9 Crunch. I'm Doug Gibson. This is Steve Stones. And we are going to watch the 1959 Mexican fantasy movie Santa Claus, directed by Rene Cardonas and brought to America by whom?
K. Gordon Murray, the king of the kiddie films.
Yeah, he created a Saturday matinee for kids, didn't he?
Rumpelstiltskin and Red Riding Hood.
And he also took on the vampire movies, Mexican vampire films.
Vampire's Coffin.
Yeah. And this movie premiered in October of 1960 in the United States.
Made in 1959.
I'm just going to say it right now. This movie's a trip, people, okay? It's got a cult status. Mystery Science Theater riffed on it. We're not going to make fun of this movie because we think this movie does have a heart. It is a Christmas movie, and it has staying power. People have watched it a long time. Filmed in Mexico City, wasn't it?
And it's a must-see for during December, during the holidays. Every year, at least for me.
Oh, definitely. I never miss it, too. I just sometimes wish I was born like in the 50s so I could have gone to a theater and saw this on Saturday. Dun, dun, dun,
It likely double billed on another K. Gordon Murray feature, I would think.
Oh, I think so. Or, you said last week, or you said recently, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians would be a good co-feature, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely. I bet those two played together. We should go to newspaper archives. In fact, I'll get my friend David Groot to check this movie and see where it played, various theaters in America.
So Santa lives in space.
First diversion from tradition, right?
Does that mean that Mrs. Claus is at the North Pole still? We don't know.
I know, that's the big mystery here. There is no Mrs. Claus.
But let's move in for a closer look. Come along.
And this is not as good as the print of the Blu-ray print that I have in my collection.
Yeah, you own a Blu-ray.
I'm forgetting the company that puts that out. I want to say Vinegar Syndrome, but I'm probably wrong on that.
Not Kino, is it?
That's not Kino, no.
Okay.
I think it's VCI Entertainment.
Probably. Santa Claus is portrayed by Jose Elias Moreno. Now, he was a working Mexican actor. He died relatively young in 1969 at 58. And he was in over 180 films, though. And I think that, boy, Santa Claus's house here reminds me of the house Boris Karloff lives in sometimes in the 1934 movie The Black Cat.
Some of the bizarre architecture.
Yeah.
Well, and Karloff's an architect in that movie.
He is. Now, what we're going to see right now is all these helpers of Santa Claus who are there building for him, right? Making toys for him.
And they represent different countries all over the world.
And I think we'd have different representation of Africa today, but this is 1959, remember that. I just love his expression, Santa Claus right there.
When you and I were watching this just the other day, you mentioned how would they have done a casting call of these children?
I bet you they had a bunch of people come, they put it in the newspapers, you want your kid to be in a movie. I think I also opined to you that maybe some people from the embassies brought their kids. That's a long shot, but it's possible because they try to use different people from different nations. I'm not assuming that these are all accurate, though.
Dots from China lend a hand as well.
So the voice that you're hearing that's narrating, that's supposed to be K. Gordon Murray.
Yeah, that's interesting. I read that this movie is about 94 minutes long, but it's a little longer in its original Mexican version, Spanish version, but they cut a couple of scenes out.
If you buy the VCI Entertainment Blu-ray, there's lots of extras on it.
Yeah, there are some cool extras. Also, because we become there's more availability for films, you can actually watch this movie just about anywhere and also see the original Mexican Spanish version on YouTube.
Boys and girls from England.
So this has got to be, I'm thinking this is a sound stage, obviously. I mean, they're not outside.
Oh, yeah, definitely. In fact, I think I talked to you. We watched this yesterday to prepare for this show, and I wondered if everything is in sound, if even the outdoor scenes are in sound, but I don't know that for sure.
The scenes that show his workshop from a distance, those are miniatures, I would think, three-dimensional miniatures.
Definitely, but this workshop we're going to see later, wow, I mean, doesn't it rival like Pee Wee Herman had?
Well, some of the interior stuff coming up that we'll point out in a few minutes.
I'm going to confess to you, I find this opening scene a little bit tedious at times.
It drags quite a
as
bit.
we just go through every child in the universe, apparently.
Well, you already pointed out this is a very bizarre movie.
This is a bizarre film. I mean, Santa Claus lives in outer space. That's the first thing you have to understand. He must have gotten a better deal from I don't want to make jokes, I'm sorry. Here's Russia. Dun, 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 dun. He's just really into this, Jose Elias Moreno. I do have to. I want to check newspaper archives. I want to find out. Because this film apparently made money, based on what I've read.
All of the snow that's falling, I wonder what kind of material that is.
That's a good question. I've read when you're making films, when you're snowing, it's actually pretty hot in there. Because of the artificial snow and everything.
Boys and girls help Santa too.
I kept thinking she should be singing O Tannenbaum, or something. Christmas tree.
These are the kind of toys that children of today probably wouldn't find very interesting.
So, that's interesting, because when you watch A Christmas Carol, you see the 19th century toys. They look so intricate and so complicated. But at the same time, they look a little bit creepy, too. I don't know if kids like these things where clowns are smiling and doing hoops, and stuff like that. We're going to see a scene later in this movie that I think would be worthy of a horror film.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about, too.
Yeah.
It involves little Lupita.
Little Lupita.
In a dance, in a dance number.
The actress's name, well, we're not there yet, so we'll get there. We'll talk about it. That is the same song, I think, that the Dutch girl is singing with Santa Claus in Miracle on 34th Street. Not the same language, but the same tune.
The islands of the Caribbean.
I have a feeling those Caribbean kids live in Mexico City. Just imagine a Santa Claus that sits around and plays the piano while his workers sing songs and somehow get around to making toys. And I was asking myself, do their parents know? I mean, do they get permission? Because they're in outer space. I like that behind there, where they were the stairs that go up.
Brazil and Argentina.
South America.
Oh, well. Those remind me of my missionary training classes on culture. I went to Peru. I'm not kidding you not. That was probably the least effective class I had at the MTC, which otherwise was a good experience.
So eventually we'll get to see the devil named Pitch in this film.
Yes, and he reminds me also of Dr. Is his name Dr. Zeta guy? Captain Zeta in Ed Wood's Glinda Glinda a little bit too.
Children from the USA.
USA! USA! I guess this is a Western motif, isn't it, here? The cowboy singing the song with the cowgirl.
Is that how the rest of the world looks at America, that we were once these cowboys, 19th century?
Or Texas.
A neighborly group of helpers from Mexico.
And there's the Mexican helpers. They have the most there. It must have been a big thing for these kids to do this, and see it in the theater. La cucaracha. He's really into it, that kid with the red hair.
That kid's really, he loves being in the spotlight there.
There's no doubt about that. Boy, he's really into it. Give that kid 3 bells. Okay, Santa's done. Ho, 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 ho. You know, I need to watch the Mystery Science Theater version again of this. I haven't for years.
Devil? Now, let's
He's got something sparkling there.
Yeah.
Well, now, how does it work? What is the sense of it?
Like this, Santa.
So is this what unleashes Pitch, if I remember?
I think this is like quality control there, or something. Aha!
There he is. Pitch.
That is Pitch, and Pitch is played by Jose Luis Aguirre Trotsky. In parentheses, so maybe there was some kind of joke about Trotsky. I don't know. He's got the same beard Trotsky had. That could be it. And this is a realization of hell. And Rob Craig, the scholar who's written about Ed Wood, Andy Milligan, also wrote about K. Gordon Murray, and he says that the hell in this movie is a very Catholic hell, where they're out there to destroy souls, and there's a big battle between Pitch representing the devil and Christ, and Santa Claus representing God. But look at how, I hadn't thought about it, look how full of fire this is.
He's even got some evil priests
Yes.
there lined up.
And this is the big guy, Satan. You have to be good in his presence, you know.
You know, there's a print of this film I found at a thrift store that cuts out all the scenes with Pitch.
Damn those censors.
Which I don't know why they would do that. Well, actually, I do know why.
Satan is telling Pitch he has to corrupt the children of the world.
No, Lucifer, king of all the evil spirits. Not that. By the horns of everything satanic, I beg you. To live, I must have heat. Frozen meals are bad for me, especially chocolate. It's very bad for my
Chocolate. See, he doesn't like chocolate. Guess what? He gets thrown chocolate.
Yes, I promise, O priceless Prince of Hades. That by my
You have to listen carefully to this movie. It took me years to realize the chocolate
children
thing. You know
commit
that?
terrible deeds and make Santa Claus angry.
Go on then, and show the world.
You know, the first time I ever saw this movie, I hadn't seen it till I met you, and you made a recording of it for me on a VHS tape from TCM Underground.
Yeah, they showed this movie. Guy was.
And we're so disappointed that TCM Underground went away.
Yeah, you people from Paramount who bought it.
Shame on you.
Shame on you. Spirit of Christmas invades the earth. That's bad news in hell. El Espíritu. And there's Santa Claus. What's he watching? The Home Shopping Network or something? I don't know. Oh, that's a joke I shouldn't make. Okay.
So little Lupita.
See, the battle for the souls are between a boy named Pedro and a little girl named Lupita. I think that Lupita is so adorable. She's almost become iconic. You know that?
So her parents are poor and his parents have a lot of money.
But they ignore him.
And she really wants a doll.
On the other hand, is very poor.
Yeah, Lupita wants a doll so much.
Fondest dream is
This
to own a
actress
doll.
who played Lupita was, where is she? Her name was Lupita Quesadas. And she's very good at putting her finger to her mouth. And so Pitch is going to play the tempter. Feliz Navidad.
Who are these
Once
priests?
again, I ask myself, is this
They
filmed
rude
indoors or
proportions
outdoors? I
shove
don't
like that.
know.
But the devil likes rude little boys, and it doesn't take him.
Well,
long
you know,
to
those, well, I was going to give out a spoiler. Those scenes at the end where Santa gets up the tree, I think those are outdoor shots.
I think that's a good point, definitely. I wondered, though, watching it, it looked like it was outdoors.
Well,
Now, these are the three juvenile delinquents.
The devil has turned them against
They're dressed like juvenile delinquents. Dun, dun, dun.
Suddenly,
See,
he's
the way
with
they
them
have him come in is very low budget. The same way John Carradine comes in and Billy the Kid runs Dracula, you know?
and his
It's just
evil
a
plan
boom.
goes into action.
That's a low budget way to show someone come or disappear. Oh, yeah. How could you?
How did he throw that rock all the way into space?
I think pitch has something to do with that.
Devil is always annoying me with his mischief.
The devil is always annoying me with his mischief.
Him in his place. But everyone knows I can only go down to Earth on
I wonder if
Christmas Eve and
this
not
guy who played
before.
Santa Claus, Jose Elias Moreno, did gigs like this, you know.
So he was a Santa every Christmas.
Well, I just wonder, you know, because, I mean, this probably was even more popular in Mexico, right?
You know who they are?
I've got their names. The bad boys are.
No. The naughty boys are not important. They will get punished in due course. The ones I must reward are the other children, like the good little
I'm
girl.
presuming that this film was shown on television quite a bit, and then you just never see it anymore.
Find out what they're doing.
That's a good point. You know, I've seen Santa
This
Claus
is
Conquers the
Santa's
Martians on
Magic
regular
Observatory.
TV. I've seen
What
other movies.
wonderful
I
instruments.
don't
The
know if
ear
I've
scope,
ever seen
the
this on a regular
teletalker that
TV
knows
station.
everything, the
But I
cosmic
do believe
telescope,
once,
the master eye.
long ago,
Nothing that
I
happens
saw
on
it
Earth
on a
is unknown
Spanish
to Santa
station
Claus.
in Los Angeles.
By thy
In its
magic
original
powers,
Spanish.
look
In
for
fact,
the
you know,
child
Buster
who's
Keaton
sleeping,
made a movie
whether
called
she is in a
Boom in
cave
the Moon
or
in
beyond a
English.
million mountains.
And it was made in Mexico. And I think I made you a copy of it. And I saw that.
No, you gave me a VHS tape of it.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Okay, let's not get away. Let's go to the Pee Wee Herman thing right now.
Yeah, some of this stuff here looks like Pee Wee's Playhouse, the machine with the big lips on it here.
Yes. And the probe and stuff like that, and the eye. Now, I'm going to give Rob Craig some credit too, because he says this represents the 1950s McCarthyite era of conformism and making sure people behave themselves. You know that? That's
It kind of looks like the probe that comes out of the ship in War of the Worlds from 1953.
Yes, very
I
good.
think I found a girl.
Where?
You know, another really obscure Christmas movie that you never really see on television, and who knows if it even played when it came out, which is Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny.
That was by Barry Mahan, right?
Yep.
And it was filmed at Pirate World, which he used to own, I believe. This is no longer in existence. Pirate World now has some football stadium on it. This is fun because this is very Mexican
Lupita,
culture
all
here.
right. And she's still
And
dreaming
Lupita
about
watching.
that doll she wants for Christmas.
Of course, you know, Mahan stretches out Bunny by showing these really cheap movies he made. You know, about
To extend the length of,
yeah.
of the feature itself.
we have to confess, we've watched it. I even did a review. I think you wrote the review. We put it in the Standard Examiner newspaper, and it's also on Plan 9 Crunch blog. That's a hard one to watch, isn't it?
It's pretty awful.
Did we go see Santa and the Ice Cream Bunny at a
We
theater?
did,
Yeah,
yep.
we did. Yeah.
I think it was a riff by
It was
Riff Tracks.
Yeah, Riff Tracks.
It
We
was
saw
a-
Plan 9 Riff Track too,
We sure did.
back in 2009 or something. Uh-oh. What?
Lupita isn't thinking of stealing that doll, is she?
Peter,
No,
Wilson.
no, Lupita. You shouldn't
Peter, your
steal.
soul
Put
will
it back.
damn in hell forever. No!
Lupita, come here.
Put the doll back.
She just wants a doll, Mommy.
It's yours. Nobody saw you take it, Lupita. They have one.
The
They won't miss it.
tempter.
What does one little doll matter? Don't you see? You haven't got any toys.
Gotta love the goatee.
Yeah, that's why I
Don't
think
listen
it's
to him,
Trotsky.
Lupita. It's
Lupita,
bad
do
to
not
steal,
listen
and
to
you'll be
him.
sorry.
Yes,
That's right. Put it back.
Good.
Good girl.
We have a good narrator.
Mr. K. Gordon Murray.
Poor Lupita. She wants a doll, though. Is that supposed to be a baby in there?
I think so.
Semi-girl.
Do you notice how they always go when he shows up?
Little girls must hear
It
do
seems
without
like
things they
when
like.
people
Wow.
disappear and reappear
That's
in
not true, Lupita.
Santa Claus
If
Conquers the
you're good,
Martians, that
somehow
happens
you'll
too,
be
right?
rewarded.
Or is
Yeah.
that when they shoot the ray guns?
I'd have to watch it again. Isn't that silly? I mean, we just saw it, and I have to watch it again.
Well, I forget too.
Okay, what's going on? Oh, Santa's spying on the kids because he's not allowed to go to Earth yet. He's rejoicing that Lupita is representing children well.
Come, Pedro, find them.
By thy magic powers, Look for the child we're seeking. Whether he is in a cave
Somebody else
or
coming
behind
up
a million mountains.
without, well,
Okay.
I'll be giving a spoiler. Merlin.
Well, he hangs out with Merlin. Merlin's like his best
Yeah.
friend. He must live down the street or something, or down another star nearby or something. Since I read Rob Craig's essay, that probe just keeps thinking about staring at everybody. Look, that looks like, I think I've told you, it looks, well, this is too obsolete, but reminds me of Mother and the Finks, where they get asked information for in that spoof of spy movies.
Is that 1969 or 1970? That movie?
I think it was made in '69, but not released till '71. The Finks, and that we have a review of that on
Sleeping soundly.
Plan9crunch.com, by the way.
His dream will appear on the dream scope.
We have reviews of this movie. You've written one. I've written one on Plan9crunch.com also.
The one I wrote was published in the newspaper, right?
Yes, but it's also on Plan9crunch.
So the satellite dish needs an ear on it.
It needs a lot more than that, I think. This is so bizarre. I mean, I know I'm repeating myself, but it is weird. What is this, like, fading
Well,
out?
and that sound effect was the sound effect that was used in Forbidden Planet.
Yeah,
I
it
pointed
does.
out when we watched this yesterday.
Okay, we're in the house of Pedro.
Would these be toys?
Pedro is played by
They contain what a child loves best.
Cesario Quesadas. I have no idea if he and Lupita are brothers. I wasn't able to find that out. But this is what he wants for Christmas, right? Loving
He just wants his
parents.
parents to be around instead of gone all the time.
This reminds me of the moralistic films of the 50s where the girl would go bad and the parents would be lectured by the judge at the end, you know? And he wants a good parent.
A dream is a wish that the heart makes.
A dream is a wish that the heart makes. You should post that sometime.
As a Facebook
The
update?
only thing this
Or
child
on
wants
your wall.
is the love of his
Dream
parents.
is a hope. That's how it
Don't they
makes.
love him?
Cesario
Maybe they do.
Quesadas was a bit of a star in the
maybe they
60s.
don't. But
His
soon we may
nickname in the
find out
credits is
truth.
Pulgarcito, and that's because he played Tom
She's
Thumb
already
in a Rene
sleeping.
Cardona film that
Might
Kay
be able
Gordon
to
Murray
sleep a
also
dream.
bought, called Tom Thumb. And he was in several of these Kay Gordon Murray Mexican imports. Just FYI, factoid here. Poor little Lupita in their hovel.
Poor girl needs a blanket.
What I find interesting here, I don't know if you brought it up or I read it somewhere, that the person who gets the big bed in this family is Lupita.
I wonder if our child is dreaming.
I wonder, this reminds you a little bit of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, where Charlie lives with a whole bunch of kids.
I
in a
recall when I
hovel.
was a little girl, I often would dream of great riches. That I had all the things
So this
I
print
wished
hasn't
for
been
and
really all that bad.
care in the world.
It's
No.
not. It's pretty good print.
But at times
This
I
film is
also
in the
dream
public
of the
domain. I want Studio Canal to know that,
Confounded
okay?
devil. Why
And
can't he
so
leave
we're going to
Lupita
be able to
alone?
watch it and everything, everywhere. There's Pitch. Do you think Lupita can see him?
Not right now.
No, I mean when she's awake.
I think so.
I think so too, but I was wondering that if it was
Look
just
at
a
that
voice
old
she was in.
busybody.
Damn, Santa Claus is pissed right
He'll
now.
make Lupita want to
Boy,
steal
Santa
again.
Claus is coming, and boy is he
He'll
pissed.
be part of her dream. How awful. Better look at her
Santa
dream
Claus's
now.
beard looks like it's made of cotton candy or something. You know that? Okay, this is a horror film to me.
This is probably the strangest sequence in the whole movie.
Yes, and Pitch is trying to tempt poor little Lupita. All right, and look what he unearths.
When I took her home, she could wear again.
Bum, bum,
It's
bum.
definitely not Babes in
I mean,
Toyland.
I think we're channeling Dario Argento here. You know, some bizarre scene from Suspiria.
Suspiria.
Yeah. You think you're gonna have these cute little dolls, right?
The close-ups of these faces is just very strange.
Very strange. Well, obviously they're bad dolls, aren't they? Peter's saying, what's going on here? Look at that face. Just don't you think you need to be a little buzzed or stoned to watch this? Fully gain the appreciation of it? Says, well, what is going on here?
I have to wonder if maybe she really was freaked out about these dancers as she's standing there.
She does look a little bit. You know, the funny, you have to, saying something good about this scene is they got the smoky smoke at the bottom, you know, which is very Mexican vampire movie related.
So finally we're going to see close-ups of these strange faces.
Okay, guys, you have a message for me here? I want to be Disney. I wonder if that Rob Craig book on films in the 50s and 60s reviews this movie. I don't think so. I think he just did American Independent, didn't he?
That's American AIP films are reviewed and.
Why don't you steal us? We can all be yours. No, you know that stealing is.
See, I'm thinking those heads, they're burlap potato sacks, or at least in my print they look that way.
Yeah, this is almost an allegory to Satan meeting Christ on the top of the hill.
I don't want to be evil.
Repeatedly, as Christ saying, no, you won't steal.
Never thought of it that way.
Dolls are saying, you can have every doll in the world.
No.
I'm being a little over the top here, a little facetious, I think. But this is her big scene where she really stands up for everything.
No, you know stealing is bad, and I want to be good.
No, stealing is bad, and I want to be good. He is so outraged.
Mama! Mama!
Meanwhile, back in outer space.
Believe me, that old pitch is going to pay for this. Very
Believe
minute I
me,
get
that
to
old
work, he
pitch
will
is going to
for what
pay
he
for
is
this.
doing.
And the three little boys, the ones who broke the window, maybe they have.
Okay, this movie was produced
Santa Claus.
and filmed at Churubusco Azteca Studios in Mexico. And it was filmed in Eastman color, as I said earlier. So they're going back to their big can.
A lot of audiences probably, when they saw it on TV, it wouldn't have been in color. They would have seen a black and white version.
I think that's a good point, definitely. Guess who released this on VHS? It's easy to remember. Their name
Good
is
Times Video.
Good Times Video, yes.
I'm not sure that company's even around anymore.
It probably isn't. Mill Creek Entertainment released it in 2008.
But they're speaking in a low voice.
Let's tune in the ear scope.
Have you heard of something called
exactly what they
Fanboy?
are planning.
There's some group and they release stuff, and this movie is part of.
Is it a streaming service?
I don't know. I think it is a streaming service, but they're on something called Weird Christmas. They include this movie. See the ear? The ear. I think Rob Craig has a point that there's a surveillance state here. You know that? So there's an allegory to the surveillance state with the eyes and the ears.
Yeah, and we'll steal that kid.
And the mouth too. I
He's
mean,
got a lot of them.
just think about the mouth.
We get toys too. What's the fun in that? It's no fun.
Well, if Santa's going to determine if kids are naughty or nice, he's got to hear them, see them, everything. Excuse me.
But who determines who is nice and who determines who is naughty?
Sure he will.
I wonder if he turned Mrs. Claus into that thing. I don't know.
Two old old to know what goes on.
What? Me too old? The devil is very many centuries older than I am. Those youngsters have got their nerve.
So he's saying he's younger than the devil.
I'm just a child. It's just that I haven't been well lately.
He's making excuses.
That
He hasn't
really
felt well
makes
lately.
me. Let's see who those boys are.
So there's 3
Let's see what
boys.
they're up to. Oh ho! There you are, you little rascals.
These are the ones that threw the rocks.
You know, Steve, this is weird, but if I did a story on fanatical evangelicalism, with the Left Behind books, and in those books there are 3 demons who are Satan's helpers.
Santa Claus.
In the I just wonder if there's a correlation there. I don't think
That I
so.
wish for is that my
I like this. This house actually looks pretty cool.
the night before Christmas. I don't like to be alone. But the most
He just wants his parents to be around more frequently.
You
I
bring me
agree.
a little brother.
This movie is also called Santa Claus versus the Devil, right?
That's if you bring it up on Tubi, that's what it's listed under.
Awfully bored.
I would like to learn more about K. Gordon Murray. You know, most of his movies were hard to find. Now we're finding more of them. The little fairy tale movies, I'd like to find out more
I
about.
know it's
Sinister Cinema sells some of them, and I believe
maybe you could
Something
get me
Weird
a
Video may have some of them in their archives as well that they
Mama.
distribute and sell.
I wonder how much longer we're going to have. Video.
How much longer? What?
Something Weird Video is in sort of flux right now, right?
They don't. I don't think they do DVD Rs anymore.
Okay, but they'll still have to be around. That's,
I'm not sure.
I think she mentioned they might have
Lisa Petrucci.
they might have some kind of relationship with somebody else, coming and going.
I think they were releasing their titles with Image Entertainment for a while.
I think you're right. Don't they get involved with that AF something, American Film Society releasing?
Oh yes, some Blu-ray releases.
Yeah. Okay, so letters are going out. But these kids are up to no good.
It's a federal offense to tamper with mail.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, I
Santa Claus.
know, they shouldn't do that.
Were those were they trying to get into the box or?
Yeah, but it could be an offense in Mexico or something.
Santa
you know.
Claus. Santa Claus. Santa Claus.
Sometimes this film just
Santa
goes
Claus,
on and
Santa
on. This
Claus,
reminds me of the scene in
Santa
Miracle on
Claus.
34th Street,
More Santa Claus,
where
more
they
Santa
got
Claus.
all these Santa
big
Claus
old-
things, you know, and
Santa
they
Claus,
decide to send him to
Santa
the
Claus.
courthouse because Chris Kringle's on trial.
They're
there.
gonna dump into his house and he's gonna open the chute.
Yes, yes, yes.
And they'll all come shooting out at him, if I remember. Here
Yeah,
we go.
you're right.
Here
You're
we
absolutely
go.
right. Look, here it comes. This is a pretty cool, bizarre little scene. Oh, ho, 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 ho.
You think Santa has enough time to read all those?
Well, he just does it by magic. I mean, come on, Steve. He's got 1 billion houses. I was watching. Oh, our buddy Joe Blevins does Cinema B or Cinema Maniacs or something. He watches their movie on Friday nights, and last night he was watching this, and he was making comments about the movie on X, which used to be known as Twitter.
I'm considering doing this on my show next Sunday, but I haven't made up my mind.
Well, I think there's always so much you can say
I
about
have
this movie.
studied very much. For that reason, please try to bring me these toys. A toy automobile, a submarine.
Well, I was
a
thinking of
football,
doing
a bat,
Christmas
roller
Evil, but I
skates, a
can't.
scooter,
I have that in my
a
collection. I
rocket,
just haven't been able to
a
find it.
bicycle,
mention
an atomic
something. So what are you
laboratory, a
doing
machine
tomorrow?
gun. Ooh.
Oh, I'm doing Black Christmas, the 1974
By-
version.
Who directed that again?
That's
Thanks.
the director that did Porky's and
Bob? Was it Bob?
Clark.
Bob Clark. Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
Well-
the thing is, Steve does this show called Brushstrokes and B
And as my
Movies
two little
on
brothers have
Instagram,
behaved very
Steve
well.
D. Stones. Every Sunday, just about at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, you can just tune in to Steve D. Stones at Instagram and watch the show. Sometimes I'm on, not often, but occasionally I am. And I always listen to it and watch it. And it's 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on Sundays. So So check out
Here's
Christmas.
Santa Claus.
Christmas. What's it?
Black
Black
Christmas.
Christmas
Bring me a
tomorrow.
little brother.
And not the remake.
Olivia Hussey's in that movie, right?
She is, yep. So is John Saxon,
John Saxon.
Margot
Mr.
Kidder.
Dork.
See, he has Paris, How many different things does he have to put stuff in, Does he have like
He may have ordered.
Zuatantaba?
He may have ordered some pizzas there. It kind of looked like pizza boxes.
Santa has to eat, Look at those kids working and working away.
The hour is drawing near for me to go down to Earth, where all good children expect my arrival. As you know,
Only good children. See the Catholic elements in this film again. Mr. Craig, you're a visionary.
Let's all make a big effort to get
See,
our work finished.
isn't later in this movie those kids get coal for Christmas? The three bad guys?
I don't remember. As many times as I've seen this movie, I should remember that.
I have to be careful what I say on this show, because everybody's seeing it right
Here is
now.
Merlin
I get
the
ideas
Wizard.
and I have to
A
censor
little
myself.
absent-minded, perhaps.
Here's
There's Merlin, yes,
Finally, we
Merlin.
get Merlin.
Oh, Merlin.
I think Merlin helps out Santa when he's in a pinch. Wonder what's in that little container right there, bubbling away.
So this may be the only Christmas feature in cinema history that pairs Merlin up with Santa Claus that I'm aware of.
I think that's a good point.
This new rainbow is quite
Who the
unusual.
heck plays Merlin here? Oh, I'm
I
on
suppose
something
you've
else right now. I have
changed
to
the
go back
colors
in the
again.
thing. What did I
This
just
one will
do?
surpass the others. When the rays of the sun into
let's
the
see.
rainfall, poof, a variety of wonderful
It's fun though.
colors
It's
will
fun to
fill
have
the
a movie
entire
where Santa
heavens.
Claus interacts with Merlin.
Well, Mr. Merlin, tell me if the sleeping powder's a mix. The dreaming powders that fill everyone with joy and goodwill, and the flowers that disappear.
What's the date, eh?
On the Earth, it's the eve of the 25th of December.
According to the Christmas
So
wiki, it says
is.
that
In 3
Santa Claus may be the
minutes,
only
they'll
film
be
in
ready.
U.S. history, with the
I
possible
shall
exception of
reveal
Walt
to
Disney's
you
Snow White and the Seven
secret
Dwarfs,
of the magic
to be released
stardust
profitably in
concocted
theaters
by
every few years for
Merlin.
3 decades.
Unsurpassed for
Wow.
sound sleeping.
Wow.
Please, let me go
I don't know
by.
about that though. I think it was profitable, but I don't remember this film playing when I was a kid.
For
How-
3 decades, that would have been into the
Yeah.
90s.
I don't remember Santa Claus Conquers the Martians playing when I was a kid, and I was a kid in the
Jimmy
70s.
Jenny
Now, maybe,
Bird.
granted, I wasn't
Is
looking
an
at the
alloy
TV,
of
at the
copper, nickel,
at the newspaper often.
Plutonium and platinum. Yes, sirree.
You watch him here, it's interesting. I wonder if these scenes are scripted, or if they just told him to go in and act like Santa Claus and act like Merlin for a few minutes.
Oh, what a
Probably
chummy I
scripted.
am. I forgot the urn. And without the urn, I
One thing
can't
about this
mix
film
the
I find
ingredients,
interesting is
can I?
No, you can't.
I don't see a lot of close-ups in it, except for the kids. You know that?
You know, that's a good point that I should have caught that too, but you're right. It's the giant plants in Little Shop of Horrors.
Looked like that a little bit, didn't it?
That first one he was dusting there.
Feed me, feed me.
4 scoops.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, he's just here chit chat.
The last ingredient is the most important thing.
He's giving him an ingredient. I guess allow him to go down to Earth or something really quick.
Oh, gosh.
Gotta love Merlin's shoes there.
I think so too. For heaven's sakes, what's going on
What
here?
a memory. I keep forgetting the urn.
That thing there on the bottom right looks like a slinky in motion.
It does, doesn't it? I was trying to think what it was. Merlin is a little bit touched, I think. He's hip-hopping.
Some powder from the wings of the butterfly Papilio sacrata, that dwells among the nebulous mists and vapors of eventide, and which only I
But see,
have been
isn't
able to
Merlin a
keep
character in
by
Excalibur?
furnishing with
Yes,
my
he is,
magic
but he
and that
also
great
had to
window
retire
there,
and go live next to
the lights of the
Santa Claus.
heavens. Yes.
David, one thing we don't want to do with this is try to find any kind of continuity, okay?
Well, I wasn't looking for continuity. I was just thinking of that movie, Excalibur, and I thought maybe that
Okay.
Merlin was in there.
What Merlin's doing right now is giving him a powder that will help him
This time I didn't
disappear.
forget the urn.
Okay? Don't ask me why, but he is.
Now,
And then the key you talked about yesterday, Santa will have also.
Yeah, that gets him into
with a
any
light
door.
blue
Any
flame
door in
of
the world.
frozen fire, and next thing, it's ready. So as you have seen, it's very simple, right? Let's see now. Open up your pack. Alley-oop.
What's he doing?
Ah-huh.
And the dreaming powders that fill everyone with joy and goodwill?
You know about
So I gave him
them.
some power
The
to make
only
him
thing
feel
you have
joy
to
and
do,
goodwill.
Santa, is to remember that you must sift them. Yeah, the same as last Christmas. Don't you remember?
Yes.
Apparently he does it every
I'm afraid I have
Christmas.
forgotten. As the man continues to get older, he begins to forget everything.
Every year my memory fails me more, and it seems I'm good for nothing. Huh.
No,
And the
well, you're
flower
not
to
good for
disappear.
Give
nothing.
yourself a little bit more credit there.
Disappear.
I know.
You've disappeared. You're really in bad shape.
The flower to disappear.
Oh, well. Here you
There's
have
that
it.
little boom
Smell it,
again.
and you disappear.
So he drinks it. Wow, bong, he disappeared.
Well, what do I have to do to make myself visible again?
Oh, what happened to your memory? Can't you remember anything? The same as last Christmas.
Why, of course.
Tell us.
That star that's above the
Much
fireplace
obliged
there,
to you,
we've
Mr.
seen that in
Merlin.
at least 2 other
I'll be
environments.
back again to see you next
Must be
year.
like the star symbol or something for the country there. Okay, so that's Merlin's.
Next, Santa calls on the master blacksmith and keymaker of the palace.
He's the master blacksmith and key maker of the palace. So he's making the key, right? The one thing you can say about this film, it doesn't scrimp on details, does it?
The golden key that opens all doors is ready, Santa.
Key that
Opens all
is
doors.
ready, Santa. It's another good. That could be another good themes you could put out. Dun 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 dun.
I think you'll agree it's a real work of art. It has no equal.
Bum, 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 bum.
Thank you, my dear keymaker. Only you could make a key such as this, which would turn the lock of every door on earth.
Please try it on the locks of 1,000 magic portals.
Okay, we've now established that every lock can open with this.
Just think of how many banks he could rob.
Well, we don't
And
want
as
Santa to
Santa
go
tries
bad.
out the
Yeah.
magic
Can
key
resist
of gold,
temptation.
it opens door after door.
Door after door, so he has to get in all those houses. He only has 1 billion houses to go to that night. I like that shot when I was watching this movie.
This is Santa's
Does it
trick.
remind you of Nosferatu? I'm just kidding.
He's walking through an archway that looks like the shape of a keyhole that you put a key in.
Isn't that interesting? Because if you watch old TV shows, Santa's trying to reduce. You sometimes see people through a keyhole. You see. Santa likes his. Do you remember those things?
I do.
Yeah, I remember having them. Dun, 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 dun.
So this is kind of like his workout station, like going to the gym.
The thing is, they're showing us everything Santa is doing. It's not like they're saying we can take him to the next scene somewhere.
He's training to go down chimneys.
Oh, that's why I did the workout, to get that last ounce off. Uh-oh,
There,
Santa.
see? Santa has reduced his waistline. It may not seem so, but he fits into the chimneys all right.
Trans Heavenly Airway, I love that. The Super Reindeer Special via the Milky Way. Let's give Rene Cardonas
Let's have a
credit.
look
He
at
did have an
Santa's sleigh
imagination.
and his reindeer.
These
Even-
reindeer
Santa's
creep
helpers
me
from
out.
all
They
nations
require a
sing
key to
come
turn
make
them.
sure that everything
I know
works
they're not
properly,
ceramic, but they look
and that the
ceramic
sleigh
to
and
me.
reindeer will shine brightly in the Christmas sky.
They sing like they're singing some kind of authoritarian chant.
Well, let's see. There's only 4 of them, right?
Well, Santa's coming. They're ready to do their job, though.
Это старые дедушка Мороз. Мы можем сделать лучший аэроплан на планету сателлите. Правда, Тамара? Да, конечно, Игорь.
Da Igor, da Tamara. Sure, it's not a bad idea to use modern spaceships for our interplanetary flights. But to convert my white reindeer into Sputniks? No,
So
I
the
should
white
say
reindeer
not.
cannot be
And besides,
Sputniks.
just to go to Earth, they suit me well enough.
Well, I guess we're all glad about that. Maybe a Sputnik would be faster. But I can't quite imagine
Sputnik
Santa
was a
Claus
term of
without
that
his
time,
reindeer and his
right?
sleigh. Can you?
Russian.
Yeah.
Isn't Sputnik a Russian spacecraft?
I think
List of
so.
all the gifts, names, and addresses.
Well, just
Because
put it
they
over
beat
there.
America
Well,
in the
thank heaven
space
I
race
still
in
have
the
a very good
beginning.
memory, hey? And I know every
did.
single child on Earth.
Stephen King once wrote about being in a movie theater watching a film, and they stopped the movie, and the
Well,
theater
just to make
owner
sure, why
manager
don't
walked
you
in and
take
told
it with
everybody the
you?
Russians had
I've
sent
really
somebody
got
out of
to
space.
hurry. It's
Just in a
almost time for the crystal
aircraft
clock
to go
on the
out of
wall to
space.
strike 10.
Don't forget that you've got to return to the castle ahead of the sunrise because the
This guy
sun
is
will
his
turn the
advisor,
reindeer into
okay?
dust.
No,
Like a White
sorry,
House
no.
advisor or
I'll
something,
be here
yeah.
all right. In that case, I couldn't get back to the castle. And on what they use for food, I'd perish. Because here our main food is pastries and ice cream made of soft clouds. And on the Earth, there's no such thing.
What food do they eat on Earth, Santa Claus?
Oh, everything in sight. They eat most of the animals, the plants, the flowers, the roots, birds, even smoke and
He's saying we
alcohol.
eat too much on Earth.
But enough of this talking. We're wasting time and I must be off.
He's got to go, people. Come on, kid. Dun, 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 dun.
Imagine trying to fit enough toys for every child in the world on that thing.
Well, it's just magic, Steve. It's just magic. Boy, they're very ceremonial here, aren't
They go in the bag and then they just kind of drop off to nowhere.
they? In the Harry Potter novels, Hermione has a bag that looks like a regular bag, yet it can fill whatever you want in it. And it still looks the same and weighs the same. So
That's what's going on here.
Looks like it, doesn't it?
He's going to need all the room he can get. He's got to be behind schedule already.
This is a kid's movie. It made money. We love it. It could be a little faster, though, in its pacing, all right? Well, they're doing it faster now. Maybe listen to me.
You know, I seem to remember the first time I watched this 20 years ago that I couldn't get through it.
That's the thing. That's the magic of cult films.
I had to stop and come back a couple days later and finish.
It's just they get better if you watch them, and that's why some people never learn that, unfortunately. I remember the first time I watched The Beast of Yucca Flats, I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Now I love it.
Yeah, it's in one of my top 5 favorite cult films.
Yes, Santa's
So he's
sleigh
got to
is
wind
really
up
a
the
huge
deer here
toy
with this
sleigh.
key.
And he has to wind it like any other toy to make it go.
So, I've been trying to figure out what these deer are. So the deer are toys. Is that the deer right there? Or is they did a close-up so you don't see it? It's not the deer. I'm just wondering. Oh, look at that. That's a little bit creepy, isn't it? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Let's go on away. How long would it take Santa Claus with a bunch of deer to fly to Earth from there?
Well, and then once they get here, imagine all the time trying to go to everybody's house.
The little cackles from the deer right now, yeah. Bells, jingle all the way. Bum, bum,
Be off, my reindeer, and glide through the heavens as fast as you can go. May my palace of gold and crystal enjoy peace. And Jesus, the Son of God, join us on earth so that we can all have joy and goodwill. On my
There they
good
go.
reindeer.
I love how they're not quite in tandem, are they? See what the shots are here, special effects. What do you think of this? It's done from a distance for a reason, probably, right?
It's got to be miniatures that are filmed from a distance.
This isn't too bad looking. Dun, dun, dun. Almost reminds me he's leaving from the mothership or something.
Well, at this pace, he'll never get to Earth before Christmas Day.
Don't worry, this movie's got a long way to go, folks.
Looks like a golf ball floating in space. Got all the little pimples on it.
Ran into the moon.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like a large golf ball, doesn't it?
And here's
There's the
planet
Earth.
I wonder where Santa will go first. Europe? Africa? America?
I think Mexico.
Back to pitch.
Pitch. Pitch, like I said, reminds me of Captain Desdita. He also reminded me of,
Think of all the nice things
who
you
was
get
it?
from Santa Claus.
From MASH, you told me.
yeah.
See you in the morning.
think,
If you get bored, you can go down and practice
what
your
was
piano
also, there's a movie
See you
called The
later,
Year
man.
the Yankees Lost the Pennant. That's actually a book. The movie's called Damn Yankees. And I think the devil's red in that movie too. Is he going to bed with a rifle?
Looks like it.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Probably doesn't shoot anything.
No, but you know, he doesn't have parents who care about him.
I knew it. The devil is nearby, and these three certainly are up to no good.
Okay, listen now. As soon as Santa Claus lands on the roof here, all three of us will jump on him. We'll tie him up and we'll stick him in a sack. And
So they're
then
gonna try to
we'll
kidnap
go home
Santa
with
Claus,
all
right?
Santa's toys. But what
Yep.
about Santa? We can make
That's
him
not
a
gonna work.
slave
That's
and all
rather
his candies and toys
false
will be all
bravado
good.
of them.
But
Santa
whenever
Claus
we
will knock
want
him out.
something, oh boy, this is going to be fun. Better not talk now. He can hear us and get away.
And what's your motivation for kidnapping Santa Claus?
I think they've listened to too much of Pitch.
Maybe their motivation is that they don't want kids all over the world to have Christmas presents.
to bed. Santa Claus will
That
be
could
here
be
any
it. That
minute
could
now.
be it. There's Lupita.
Mama, and who is Santa Claus?
He's the man in the store. The one with the red suit and the white beard that was laughing very much.
And Santa know about me?
Mm-hmm.
Is he real like my daddy?
No, not really. That one was the dummy. The real Santa lives in a castle.
Do you think anybody from
and
this
comes
cast
here once a year.
went to
What does
conventions?
he come for?
They say
Was it a bit
he's
Well,
too
just
long?
provided
good
there
for
was,
obedience.
provided
I
the
think he
convention
likes me.
wanted
He has never brought me any
a
dolls.
booth that represented this movie, I would think, yeah.
Maybe you
Because the
can
kids
ask
are
him
still
for that.
alive.
And if I
You
ask
know,
him for
probably.
one now,
They'd be very old now.
Go ahead. Perhaps he'll hear you.
Like I'm sure that as much as we like Troll 2, Troll 2 may not always get a booth at every convention. They're in some
And Christmas always
conventions.
makes me feel sad.
Do you remember when they went to one
It
in
brings back
London
memories.
in the movie
and
Best
what is
Worst Movie?
Christmas good for?
And they just weren't having success there.
Well,
And
to
so
remind us
I think George,
that Christ was born many years
The
ago.
dentist, yeah.
said to
And he
Darren,
was even poorer
"You want to
than we
go?
are.
Let's go." He
was
said
born in
something.
a pedestal.
He said people had a lot of
I already
gingivitis
Santa
here.
Claus for two
He was trying to be
$50.
funny. I've never
If
seen
he
that much
sends it to-
gingivitis.
I'll give one
Not a
to
good
the
experience
little
for
Jesus.
him.
Yes, my
She's
God.
telling us, she's loving it because
Maybe
she's
we
telling
pray
how
with all
wonderful
our
she
might.
wants the world to be and things like that. She wants to have 2 dollies, by the way, but not because she wants to. This isn't too bad right here.
He's not moving very fast, but that's okay.
Watch this. This is interesting.
While
Oh,
Santa
she's going to
steers
give one of
his
those
sleigh
dolls to
towards
baby
Earth,
Jesus, the pizza says.
Old Devil Pitch awaits his arrival.
Pitch looks like he's cold right now.
Here comes Santa now. First stop, Mexico City.
He'll be glad to get back to hell then. He can be warm again.
Yeah, he doesn't like. That's a good point. He probably doesn't like it because he's used to hell.
It's freezing. I wish you were back in Hades tending the furnaces.
Yeah, Hades.
See?
Hades.
He wants to tend the furnace.
Heard Santa.
Dashing through the snow, dashing through the
I
clouds.
think there he is. I'm glad that I'm prepared to upset his old Merry Christmas. We will see who wins out. This is one night that no one can take from me.
What's he going to do?
Yeah, Joe.
Oh, he's going to push the chimney out of place so that poor old Santa won't be able to enter this house.
Okay, let's see what happens, Pitch. Can you do that? Once again, I don't know if this is outdoors right here.
I think it's a set because I don't think those buildings off in the distance look like
Real buildings, all
They
the
don't.
lights the same, you know, and everything. Doesn't change. So does Santa, what does he do? Oh, he's going down to make an entrance. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Let's look back. I'm going to look back and see some of the things we said about these movies in our reviews, all right? But this is all Pitch trying to get Santa to steal his stuff, right? Like, can he get rid of his powder and everything right now?
Let's hope Santa realizes what's happened.
Well, what's happened here? I can smell sulfur. Well, that must explain this. That old
So
devil
Pitch goes
Pitch
around
must be
smelling the
around
sulfur.
here.
You know that? Dun, 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 dun.
Santa's determined to get in. He'll find a way. He's not one to give up.
Okay, you wrote, Santa Claus, don't be naughty this Christmas season in your... And you said this has got to be the most bizarre film in my collection. And it still is it?
No, I can
Well,
think of
there's
some
more than
others,
one
but
way
I'm
to
not
beat
going to
the
say the
devil.
titles of
Santa
them.
will
Okay.
jump down using his magic parasol.
And we recorded it off a cable show
Oh,
known as
Pitch hadn't
Offbeat
counted on
Cinema.
this.
We still
Oh, it's
exist.
Offbeat, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't TCM. Although this has played on TCM, I think.
Yes, it was on TCM Underground. It was. You said you thought even children would find this film just too unusual.
Yeah, probably, don't you think?
Yes.
I think they would have a hard time sitting through the whole
And you mentioned
hour.
that. I think you might be true. Well, you were a little bit tough on this movie back then.
Well, I wrote that like 15,
Yeah, see, that's what
seem to
happens to
know
me. The
that
first
Santa's
time I wrote,
living.
you wrote this in 2009.
15 years
Look
ago.
out, Santa,
I
they'll
wrote,
see you.
like, I wrote stuff about, like I said, Beast of Yucca Flats that I rescind a little bit now, you know.
Why, of course, Santa can handle this. All he
Well, I
has
wouldn't
to
have
do
written
is
about
use
it had I not had
powders
some.
prepared by Mr.
See, can I
Willie.
tell you what you wrote on this?
I'm sorry, what?
I tell you what you
And
wrote.
it
You
isn't
said,
long before
perhaps
our two little
the
stay-at-plates
Internet Movie
are
Database should
sleeping
replace
soundly
Troll
in their
2 with
beds.
this film as the worst film of all time.
See, I said that then.
We
but,
love it now, you know.
I said that then, but I don't know. I've sat through much worse since then.
Let me see if I have more reviews. But you do say Santa lives high in the sky in a palace above the North Pole. You
Now what?
talked about it resembling
Must be
strange
Pitch putting the
Islamic
chimney back in
architecture.
Yeah, some of that architecture looks that way, and inside of his palace. You know, that movie with Anthony Isley that I just bought from you recently, what's the title of that? Now that's got to be one of the worst.
Oh, the one, the Mummy and the Curse of the Jackal.
That is an awful movie.
Oh, look at that. He got pitched, didn't he? This is a good review, though, Steve. You know that? See, Santa has lists of good girls and bad girls, and Nikita makes his good girl list. And you talk about the doll, the dream sequence, being one of the strangest scenes in the film.
Well, the devil doesn't give up either. And he seems to be quite happy about his next plot against
That
Santa.
scene reminded you of something out of Babes in Toyland, you know that?
That's why I said Babes in Toyland earlier.
Yeah, you did a few minutes earlier, yeah.
Well, and Voodoo Black Exorcist is another movie that's pretty awful. I mean, I'll sit through it as a fan of cult movies, but it doesn't necessarily improve with each viewing like something like this does.
Ah, you said this scene is very funny.
He's all right, but that was
You know that?
false.
He burns his backside by pitch.
My goodness.
Pitch is foiled again.
His red costume really brings out the white of his teeth.
I wonder how long it took to get him into costume. Is that a mask he's wearing or paint, do you think?
It's paint
Yeah.
on his
That's it.
face anyway.
He'll huff and puff until his burning breath turns the doorknob and keyhole red hot.
Beware, little children, this Christmas season. Santa may be watching you through his giant telescope from his crystal palace high above the North Pole. I only wrote a short review, but you know Carolyn, what's her last name? Your friend Carolyn commented on it.
Benyon?
I think it's her.
What do you
I
think
noticed
of
the red
that?
devils dancing, prancing around, had horns that looked like
But
hoofshoes
Santa
on their
sees
feet.
what Pitch is up to.
Perhaps they were evil
And he
reindeers.
isn't afraid.
yes. That was a comment we had.
That comment's probably as old as the article.
It's probably what I wrote about this movie was I said don't confuse it with Dudley Moore's Santa Claus. I said it's weird and a little creepy, but it sticks with you. And I called old Kris Kringle a recluse, I
Meanwhile,
think.
Pitch looks out the window to watch Santa burn his hands. Doesn't seem to know he's right behind him.
And is it true that Santa glides safely to a chimney using a parasol?
Oh, a cannon.
Using a what?
Santa's
Parasol.
turn to get even
Umbrella?
with
Yeah, he just used an
Yeah.
umbrella a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I wrote about that. My last thing was, if this film sounds to readers like the after effects of taking 2 Percocet, you got the gist of it. But you know, at the time I was having kidney stones, so I knew what I spoke. Yeah, right there it gets him.
Well, it's okay to change your views on a movie as years go
Oh yeah,
by.
you should. Yeah,
I mean,
because we learn to appreciate these movies, you know, repeat viewings. Think if you
and I've had the opposite happen too, where, you know, I said some good things about Rob Zombie's Halloween, but I watch it now and I'm like, I don't know.
You really liked it. You didn't like the second one, though, the sequel.
Yeah. So I've had the opposite happen too, where I've said really good things and then later thought, I don't know.
I've had that in the movie. I was telling you
Karen
yesterday,
Fu
some of these Rankin
is a
Bass
poor
movies,
little
while I have a
rich boy.
nostalgia for them,
He has all the toys a little boy could
they're a
wish
little bit
for.
tougher to
Yet
watch now, like
he is
Rudolph,
sad
you
and
know,
lonely. Lonely for his parents.
and Shiny New Year.
You
stuff
think
of all
that
he
the
has,
message behind them is
Relax,
too
the most
simple?
important thing in
No,
life,
it's more like the
the company
acting.
of his mother and father.
Yeah, I guess I are. The message behind them is too simple. Yes. But I still watch them because it's just got a pull on me to watch every Christmas season.
It's kind of, it brings back when you were a child.
Yeah, it does. It does. You know, I still have memories of all of us kids, and there were 7 of us. All right, getting up at around 3:30, going into one of the bedrooms, and we were allowed to get up at 4, and we'd wake our parents up at 4. We'd sit there excited on Christmas Eve. I don't know why my parents allowed us to do it at 4 o'clock. Maybe they figured, well, they get back, we all get a nap later.
After you've eaten a big Christmas meal. Boy, that's got to be the cleanest chimney. He doesn't get any coal on him at all.
It may magically clean itself for Santa Claus.
Oh, he's got a little bit on the sack there.
Does he? Bum, 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 bum. So he's alone on Christmas Eve while his parents are out partying.
That's not right.
Bad parents. I want to mention while we're here that we're going to have some, well, I won't mention it right now. But we're going to have topics including Ed Wood, Vampira, talking to Gary Rhodes soon, also do some more vintage comedy, even do a boxing movie in the next couple months on Plan 9 Crunch. So keep looking at our YouTube page, all right, for these things, or our Facebook page, even TikTok. It's a nice tree, though. Did you guys have trees? Did you get real trees or fake trees?
I remember having real trees for the first 10 years of my life, and even one that had flocking on it.
I think we had a real tree once.
But I'll do something
We always
for
had
you
this
that I
white
only
tree
do for
for
children who are
years.
very good.
I just always loved the smell of the pine.
Yeah, I think what drove my dad crazy was all the things falling off.
I remember this town had at least 8 to 12 Christmas tree places. Now you're lucky if you find one. You just don't see Christmas tree
I know,
places anymore.
Awaken while you're dreaming.
This was in the 1970s.
You're right.
And for years we used the decorations that my great-grandmother had made by hand.
Wow,
That's
cool.
what we put on our tree.
Should save those.
We have them somewhere.
Yeah.
Santa Claus.
They were all
You love me, don't
hand-painted.
you?
And
Say you love me, Santa.
There's a book you can get on Amazon called Best Worst Christmas Stories.
Of course I love you, Sonny.
And I have a story
Just
in
as
it
much as your parents.
called The Most Fabulous Christmas
Because
Tree
no one
Ornament or
loves a
something
child
like that.
as
The
much as
most
his parents.
amazing, fabulous.
Only
And it's
at
about a
times the
Christmas tree ornament we had as a
don't
in a
understand their
family.
children,
And it was an antique.
and the children
Barely,
don't
barely
understand their
still in
parents.
good shape.
And you still have it.
No, you have to read the story. It's the
Oh.
climax.
Yeah, of course
I,
I
s-
love you.
I
You probably have read the story.
I just
They love you.
forgot.
Yeah, that's the beauty
No.
of fiction. You can go back to it.
sleep again.
So Pedro's finally getting some love.
It was all a
There's a
sweet
good message
dream.
here, though. You know, you can't substitute money for love.
When you awaken, I wish you much happiness.
I wonder if it's raining outside.
Supposed to.
There are moments of this movie, you know, we talk about how it drags, and it does drag, but at heart it has a great little message here. Now, I'm not sure Rob Cook would agree, because he's talking about the fact that there's authoritarian, you know.
So he has a book that's entirely about this movie, you were saying.
No, he doesn't, but he used to have a web page for K. Gordon Murray, and it's back in the, you have to look it up on Wayback now. But I did find a web page on this movie itself that had 2 of Rob Craig's essays on it today. And I'll probably put a link to that when we eventually get around to
And
that.
I asked that question because I would love to own that book if it were.
Been a long time since I've seen the market.
So would I. But
They're
Because
both
I have
looking pretty well,
I have every other Rob Craig book in my library, my personal library.
I'm wondering, is this like a magic potion or something
It's the
that will make
cocktail
your heart go home for
only
the
I can
pill?
prepare. Whoever drinks it will think of that which is most dear, and which at times, for some unknown reason, we
So they
seem
drink
to
that and
forget.
start fingering their jewelry. No, that's not true.
That's a beautiful thought. Perhaps we need a reminder. Very possibly we've forgotten someone we love.
Love can be expressed in many ways.
Is that
The
Santa Claus
truest
giving it
love
to
is
them?
that which we give
gonna
without
say it's the same
expecting
voice.
anything in return. The greatest reward for those who love sincerely is love itself. So drink my cocktail, and you will become aware of that love which is closest to your hearts.
And those without love?
They couldn't drink this cocktail, as it would burn their throats.
Wow.
Well,
I urge people
Since
to
we are
listen
very
to the
much in love.
dialogue in this movie. It's tempting not to.
may it always be that way.
Dun, 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 dun. Now they're thinking of Pedro.
Now that's strange. Where'd he disappear to?
I don't think he was just a waiter. He didn't seem to be a stranger. That kind look, the white beard. I knew that
So
face
it
when
was
I was a
Santa.
child.
Couldn't be.
She said he had a white
His
beard.
was white when you were a small girl. He'd be dead and buried by now. Now that's strange. I suddenly have an urge to see our little boy.
Let's go home. Poor Billy's always alone. I feel that he's
They
needing
love
us
him
too.
most.
He'll be so glad.
Come on.
Here he's so happy. Dun, dun, dun,
I got your parents back for you, Pedro.
dun. He did. That's what he wanted for Christmas. He's just peeking in everywhere, isn't he? Santa, you don't have to be there for every moment. There's
Fitch
the
hasn't
food.
done too well by himself against Santa, so he's back to seek the help of these boys who, so far, are the only ones willing to listen to his evil plans. They may think
Those are
it's
evil
smart to help
boys. Those
him
are Los
now,
Olvidados.
but they'll be sorry, for his advice can only get them into trouble.
One of us better get over there behind the water tank and take the rope along. When we spot Santa Claus, Zowie will pull the rope and knock him down. Got it, that's for me.
Dun, 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 dun. Why does he hop up and down like that? Pitch. So he's excited.
Keeps him warm. I don't know.
Keeps him warm, maybe. Yeah. Dun, dun.
See, it works. Didn't I tell you? Oh, boy.
That wasn't very convincing.
Yeah.
Get your head down. Here comes Santa.
So they don't want to see Santa because Santa doesn't appeal to them. This does seem like a movie that was made to be like 70 minutes or so. You know?
How can you be so dumb? Stupid fool.
I'm
In
sure there's.
fact-
Certainly
oh,
turned
go
out
on.
right
I was gonna
into
say,
our
I'm sure
way.
there's a lot that could be condensed and edited out.
I can promise you
I've
that.
never watched it, but I've
Really,
seen
Polly.
versions of this film that are like 60 minutes on YouTube sometimes.
I think the one I found at a thrift store that had all the devil scenes cut out was less than 60 minutes.
I don't know, how would you have a movie if there's no conflict? I've got to watch that sometime.
I've got to dig that up out of my collection and put it in the player and watch it again.
They should have made a sequel.
Some present for our Christmas.
Well, as your son was pointing out just a few days ago when we did Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, he said that for years there was supposed to be a remake or a sequel to Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, right?
Yeah, didn't we say they had Jim Carrey signed up at one point? Maybe that was just rumor.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
Fault is all yours. I'm going to bed.
Well, I don't know if we could make a remake. I mean, how could you improve on this, given the plot and everything, you know?
A remake of this or Santa Claus Conquers the Martians?
You can make Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, but you know what happens.
Terrific.
You can never capture the original. You know?
Beat your brains out. At least I've got the battling. Lucifer will be very pleased.
Lucifer will be very pleased.
So obviously he's not Lucifer, he's one of Lucifer's agents.
No, he's one of his top demons, though. All right. How could he do that? Somebody.
He had a cable behind him, did you see
Oh,
that?
I missed the cable.
Yeah.
This little neighborhood in Mexico will determine the entire fate of the universe right now. Dun, 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 dun. Ba-bum, bum, ba-bum, bum, ba-bum. I was going through all my DVDs and I found movies, you know, a lot of I didn't know where they were. I found Carnage. I'm wondering we have not done
Mr.
right by
Pitch has
let's see
decided to steal Santa's sleigh.
That's an Andy Milligan film from the 80s.
The reindeer won't obey him.
See, the reindeer, they will, I'm sorry, I digressed, all right. But the reindeer will not obey Pitch.
Uh-oh, a pair of scissors.
What's
Look
that little
out,
devil
Santa.
going to do? I did find Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol finally. I was looking for it. I want to watch it this year. Santa got it going. I want to tell our viewers that a week from today? Today's the 14th, right?
Yes.
So either the 21st or possibly the afternoon of the 22nd, we are going to have, not a live stream, but we will discuss the Christmas Carol movies. I'll be discussing it, hopefully Steve, Jack, our producer, and hopefully my son Joe. And we'll talk about all of them.
Won't be able to put anyone to sleep.
You know, all the ones out there, 1935 Scrooge, 38 Scrooge, 51 Scrooge, 84 Scrooge, 99 Scrooge, Muppet Christmas Carol.
Really, the only one that I'm very familiar with and that I'm a fan of is the 1935 version.
Yeah, he's going to be our resident expert on that one.
What are you going to do now, Santa?
We also have Pat. No, his name is Dean Patrick, who's going to talk about the 2019 dark version of A Christmas Carol with Guy Pearce. And he's going to take 2 or 3 minutes to say why he thinks it's the best. I like that movie, but it is not very faithful to Dickens' persona.
Let us hope
My favorite is the 1951 with Alistair Sim, by the way, people. What is going on here? I should not divulge our viewers away from this. I apologize.
I don't remember the function of the flower.
Well, it's the parasol, right? The flower helps him.
And then the umbrella just disappears.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Santa, that thing looks even bigger now. You can picture Santa doing that to our house in 1966 or so, you know, with his key.
With the magic key.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Santa goes on his way.
He's going to run into some trouble with the dog here. I shouldn't give out.
Pitch tries to get some dogs to kill him, right? And apparently Pitch took away Santa's ability to disappear or something. So what does Santa have to do?
Santa is
Go
not
up a
afraid
tree.
of that dog.
Go up a
If
tree.
he goes after him, he still thinks he can disappear.
But Pitch won't let him disappear.
Go get him, Daddy. See that old goat.
He wants to eat him.
him off.
How can old Pitch be so mean, sicking
How
a
can
vicious
old
dog
Pitch
on
be so
Santa
mean?
like that?
Uh-oh, uh-oh,
Powders.
uh-oh.
The flower to disappear. No powders and no flower. What do I do now?
I guess the flower had magical powers
It's
then.
your only
Yeah,
chance.
yeah. So he gets up in that tree, and this is the part you say probably is outdoors, and I have to tend to agree with you, you know.
Wow, that's a real tree. I don't. That doesn't look like a studio prop.
Yeah.
Shoo, get out.
Don't you think Santa would have the power to calm a dog?
Certainly was
Is that a
very funny
demonic
sight.
dog? Oh, I love
Old
this.
white
I
beard
love
in his
this.
sack, running as if the devil himself were going to take him below.
You'll pay for your mischief. You just wait and see.
You'll pay for your mischief.
First you'll have to come down from that tree. And I can have a lot of fun before you can get rid of Daddy. Because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wake up everybody.
Bah, nobody can hear your voice.
They hear it in the form of their own private imagination or ideas.
They're having a philosophical discussion, these two. Then it gets into ha 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 ha. Oh, he disappeared. Dun, 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 dun.
Mom and Dad sleep in separate beds.
Hey, this was 1959, people, all right?
Yeah.
ask up to kill your wife.
You know, I think the first couple to sleep in the same bed was the couple of the Brady bunch, I think.
Defend yourself. He's going to murder you.
Even Lucy and Desi were in
Separate beds. You know, when Lucy gave birth, they couldn't use the word pregnancy in the show. I think it was Mike and Carol Brady, and then it was Bob Newhart and Suzanne Plazette. Can't remember her name though. They were in beds.
Apparently no one is in Santa's magic observatory.
Uh-oh. What are those kids doing? They're supposed to be there manning the phones, aren't they? Santa's in a pickle right now.
Marie? Marie, get up. I think that we're in danger.
What?
Yes.
Oh, yes, the assassin is out in back.
Assassin, I'm not going.
Hurry,
Never
get out
mind
there.
that
Go
devil
after him.
standing behind you.
Where's the pistol?
Where you keep it?
In the drawer?
In the drawer.
Oh, in the drawer. In this
Boy, the
drawer.
husband's really panicking right here, isn't he? Yeah, she ought to be in charge of
There
that.
it is. Go after it.
Come on,
Watch
don't
where you
be afraid,
point that thing.
Yes.
But I... when it's cold, I can't be expected to go out.
What a frickin' wimp.
Catch pneumonia.
Serves me right for not listening to mother. Come on. Snap it up. Pneumonia or no pneumonia, you go.
But Marie, understand, where did you go get your
Get
father?
my father.
Wait, I must put on my robe.
Well, we're having a
Here it is.
domestic squabble here right
Don't
now.
waste time.
That's the way you used to phone somebody up.
In the tree there's an assassin. Please come quickly. Help, police. A murderer.
The rotary dial.
This is once more a very bizarre scene, okay? How many times? You know, you could play a game watching this movie. What's the most bizarre scene? How many of them are there?
What is he waving away? I mean,
well, maybe Pitt. Well, I don't want to make a joke. Maybe Pitt has body odor.
well, that's what I said when we watched this the other day.
Fireman! Fireman!
Oh, it must be smoke. He thinks he's.
I'm on fire!
He's trying to bring the fire department.
Mercy! This is a 5-alarm fire. Better let me have that
This
address,
is so
please, won't
bizarre.
you?
It's fun to watch. Look.
Don't expect anything from
No,
Santa
no,
Claus.
no.
He
Not
doesn't bring toys to
Lupita!
poor
Save
children.
her!
It seems like that poster that you put up for this podcast
So
for
now
this
you won't have anything.
movie said something about this film won a family award by, was it Sears Roebuck or?
It probably did.
It said that right on the poster.
But you know, sometimes it's more sizzle than steak, but maybe it did.
No, my darling.
I was reading a story in Cult Movies magazine about Ed Wood's Hellborn. He was trying to get it going. It never did, you know, but
To bed now, my darling.
he put fake ads like
Sleep well.
Grand Prize winner at Cannes Film Festival. He put reviews from New York Times that didn't exist.
And Santa Claus hasn't come.
Poor Santa Claus. He let Lupita down.
Sleep now and you will see. Maybe when you wake up, you'll find it, darling.
Doesn't he make it right by the end of the movie?
Of course, Santa's not going to let her down.
My poor little Lupita. Who can tell if Santa Claus will come to our house this year?
See, he can't go to her house because he got the dogs barking at him. Merlin! Oh, finally. Is that Pedro? No, Pedro's the other kid's name.
That did it. The whole family's awake now.
Boy, the surveillance cameras does not work very well at Santa's
Hurry up or
place.
you're going to get away, Bill.
Hurry, you go on first.
No, please, ladies first.
No, this is no time for
Guy on the left looks like he could be in a spaghetti western, you know that?
Hey, everyone, I want to play Cops and Robbers.
I was watching, it was on TCM late at night when I got home from work. Fistful of Dollars.
Yeah, that's the very first one with Clint Eastwood.
Can
Ramon!
you run? Follow me.
Can I run and follow you? Better tell me what's the matter, and I'll decide
That was
whether I
based
should run
on
and
the
whether I should
Japanese
follow you.
film Yojimbo.
Yes, it was. It was.
Oh, wait.
Gosh, you know, he reminds me a little bit of the ghost of Christmas Present in Muppet Christmas Carol, because that ghost is absent-minded also.
This is no time to play horsey. Santa's in danger.
There's no time to play horsey. I agree with the narrator. I agree with Kate Gordon.
You can take care of 1,000,000 men.
What are these people, the Hatfields and the McCoys?
Let them all see now that the only brave one here
He's trying to foment
you.
distrust.
all the men are cowards. You are
She's
a woman.
telling her they're all
Put them ashamed
cowards, the
now.
men. There's a lesson here, though.
Are you
I
sure
think
it
a
was
Sunday
the
school
first?
lesson just on this
I mean, the
scene.
pistol works.
Why, of course it works.
Okay.
If I were only your age. If I were your age, it wouldn't matter if I lived or not.
You're both
Wow,
crazy
that was
folks.
cool.
Neither of you
I'm
are
cruel, I mean.
All right, you heard what she said. You go first. No, we'll both go. We'll both go and see what happens.
The ladies' curlers right
The
there is
Red
pretty
Cross,
funny.
the fire department, the police. What a jam poor Santa's
The FBI, the
in. Everyone will see
CIA,
him.
Yeah, everybody
the
comes.
PTA.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, there I am getting into Mystery Science Theater jokes again.
PTA. Don't mess with the PTA. Of course, Santa.
You hear those sirens? They're
I love
for you.
this. It's
The
just a
show
scene
is
coming
about
up
to
with
begin,
kids I
and you'll
love
never
here.
get back before sunrise. Your reindeer will turn into powder. You will starve to death, and I will rule the earth.
Boy, Pitch wants to take over everything, doesn't he? Oops. Okay, Merlin, absent-minded Merlin back. Come on, Merlin, help.
Santa Claus! It's me, Merlin!
Merlin! Merlin! Merlin!
Where are you?
Where are you?
Here, in the observatory. What is the matter? In just a few minutes, it's going to be day. Return now.
They've got me in a tree, Merlin!
What did he
I
say?
dropped the flower to disappear!
Something about a dream.
And also the powders
Yeah.
for dreaming!
We only have about
the
6 or
beast
7
of
minutes
Hopelessly
left of this
come
movie, folks.
All this confusion has
So
been
we're
Are
gonna
you
get to
still with us?
it's
Hurry,
worth
Mr.
to see
Merlin,
the whole thing
hurry,
once. It's like trying to read Les Miserables, unedited, okay?
Excuse me.
You know, the climax of this film is pretty interesting, too. There's the eye in the sky.
Where can we find Santa Claus?
He's already been to Asia, Europe, and Australia. He must be on the American continent.
I think I see him. He's in Mexico. Oh, golly, but he's in a terrible fix. And there's no time to go to his rescue. And the sun is about to rise.
What's happening?
The sun is about to rise.
Bad dog. Against good is bad. Against black is
Come to think of it, Santa
white.
should have about
Against
24
the
hours to
bad
do
is
all this stuff.
scratch it. Against
You need a lot, long,
It's
lot
dark
more
other
time.
places, you know. Time
Against
is...
mad dog, against mad dog. A cat, a cat, a cat, a cat. A cat, Santa Claus, a cat.
What's he saying?
Be quick,
Attack?
Merlin. Now hear this. My
Why would
time
he
is
attack?
almost over. This time it's serious.
Against mad dog, a cat. Use one of the toy cats that you wind up. And the dog will
He's
grab
sending
the
a cat. Oh, he's sending a cat.
Oh, not a
And so the dogs are going to chase the cat, right?
I think so. I don't remember.
Yeah.
We just watched this.
It's hard to pay attention to the whole thing, you know.
Well, we talked through the whole thing
Yeah.
when
Yeah, a toy cat
Shoo, 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 shoo.
doesn't look like the biggest, the smartest dog in the world. Okay. Look at that cat. That's a funny scene, isn't it? You know, we should do like a short of that dog
it's
chasing the
got
cat.
wheels on it.
Yeah.
Go now, all together now. But don't push me. Don't push me. Just a minute. You make me nervous.
Oh, come on, hurry up.
I can handle this, but
Boy,
don't leave
that
me
guy,
alone.
that father is the biggest wimp in the world. Everybody's going to
Where's
save
the
the
body?
house.
How many are injured?
No
They'll
one.
surely find Santa.
Nothing in sight. Can't see anything. Better look around.
Don't push me. Leave me alone. No, don't do that. Oh, why did you shoot? Oh, it's only a hose. Be careful, it may be a whole gang, but don't worry. Try to be brave. Be calm. We must all be brave.
Come on.
That's it, the hose.
Gotta think of what to do. Oh, look, a hose. He's hosing the wrong people.
Hurry! You barely have time now.
I still have one more friend to visit. I mustn't fail her.
But
No buts about it. First come the children. I'll
No
see
bites
you
about
later,
it. First
if
come the
possible.
children. There's some good samplers
what
out of
happened?
this
Did you find
movie.
anyone?
We've looked all over the place and there's no one to be found.
Oh,
Let's make sure the fire's out. There's some smoke over there.
uh-oh, he got nailed by the
Well, that
fireman.
serves him right, the old troublemaker. He'll probably catch pneumonia.
He'll
But
probably
he asked
catch
for it.
pneumonia.
Get back to hell.
Wait,
He needs to
the
get back where
flower
he's
to
coming from.
disappear has fallen right into Lupita's house.
Oh. Suddenly started raining. Okay, how long is this one shot gonna last? Okay.
Okay, saw Santa's ladder kind of swing by.
Yeah.
If that's what that was, right?
I don't know. I mean,
Did you find work?
Nothing, Minnie. Nothing.
another day, no job. I would like to see, I'm being serious here, I'd like to see a critical analysis of this movie to figure out why it's so long. It might be a
See, that's what Rob Craig could
I'm very
address.
happy
Yeah.
again. He couldn't stay and talk to me for a very long time because his white reindeer would turn into powder.
Yes, darling, yes. But now go back to sleep. It is very late. Just go ahead and think of all those wonderful things.
Then was I just dreaming, Mama? Dreaming that he left me a dolly outside in the patio?
Maybe next Christmas. Not this one.
But he said he was a beautiful dolly.
See, we can find something here. There's the heartwarming conclusion of our film.
Look at Mommy. Isn't it a pretty dolly?
That's Catholic too.
Yeah, it was. So this is supposed to signify Santa Claus providing a miracle for them.
Know what, Mama? That star that's shining out there is a palace of crystal and candy. The home of Santa Claus. He's just arriving with his sleigh and white reindeer. Thank you, Santa Claus. Goodbye, Santa Claus.
She gives
Thank
thanks.
you for a wonderful and merry Christmas.
And Santa Claus is just about done with his trek for the year.
Is that supposed to be
And
his
so
sleigh?
once again, Santa
think so.
returns
Here
to
it
his
comes.
palace from his yearly Christmas rounds. He is happy, gay, for once again he has brought joy to the children of the world.
Now, we are Plan 9 Crunch. We're at Plan 9 Crunch podcast and blog where you watched this initially. It'll be on YouTube very soon. And we're Plan 9 Crunch
Blessed are they
at
who
YouTube and also
believe,
TikTok. And
for they
plan9crunch.com
shall
for the
see
blog.
God.
Peace on earth, goodwill toward men.
Peace on
Happy
earth.
holidays.
Yes, and we
Goodwill
enjoyed
toward
this. We
men.
enjoyed this, and we're about
Merry
to say,
Christmas.
let's see. I'm going to say that's a wrap right now. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much for watching Steve and I talk about this movie. And watch the movie again. Watch it without us. Make it an annual tradition.
The end.